I'm Cahill. Welcome to Full STEM Ahead Long Island. Did you know that the lunar lander was built on Long Island and that locally we have had 14 Nobel Prize winners? Long Island is an amazing place of science and technology accomplishment. Here at the Cradle of Aviation in Garden City, local leaders in science and technology have gathered at the Long Island STEM Hub Career Conversation event to share their thoughts about the next chapter of innovation and discovery. The best thing about it is that you too can be a part of it. Let's go inside to see what these Long Island industry leaders have to say.
What we have here is a program sponsored by the Long Island STEM Hub called Career Conversations, where we'll be introducing over 300 middle and high school students with their parents to learn more about the prospects and the excitement of a potential STEM career. There are 7 different talks tonight. Some they may be interested in, some they may not be interested in, but they'll definitely leave here much more knowledgeable.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Engineers developed a space program that put men on the moon almost 50 years ago in a lunar module built less than 10 miles from here. I'm personally speaking about engineering as a career. With a science or engineering degree, there's so many different disciplines that you can pursue, but you need to be exposed to them.
The easiest way to say is I'm a professional hacker. I'm like a good burglar. I go in, legally steal stuff because they hire me to do it. So hacking web applications, network applications, wireless networks, so your Wi-Fi, finding ways to get people to connect to my rogue wireless network and get their credentials. And then I come back with what I stole and I go to the company and I say, hey, this is the stuff I stole. This is how I stole it. This is how you can prevent that from happening in the future. So the most common security jobs are security analyst, security engineer, and security architect. I started my career at First Data Corporation doing what's called web application security, and I went to CA after a couple years. We can't fill the jobs fast enough. I'm a one-man team for vulnerability management, and that should be a 15-man team.
I did a summer internship at Brookhaven National Lab as part of the Community College Institute, because I started at a community college, and I got to work with researchers in a professional setting at a national laboratory. I make a point to speak very casually to students. We're in the business of trying to treat cancer. I start with, everyone knows someone who gets cancer. We start there and we just kind of build on, well, what if we can image the cancer without having to cut into someone? What if we can treat the cancer with a radioisotope, which might be more effective than chemo? So we just kind of build up from people's understanding. Because that's how we all learn things anyway, right?
I'm a scientific research assistant with Malloy College. We're the only captive breeding horseshoe crab facility in the United States. Horseshoe crabs have blue blood. It's copper-based blood. Actually gets created into this powder called LAL. And that is actually used to test for any harmful bacteria, any pharmaceutical drugs, prescriptions, vaccines, making sure that it's safe to enter our body. You might enjoy being outside, but you could actually take a career path that allows you to be outside for work, actually doing what you love, preserving what you love. We're out in the field on a boat every day. We monitor 115 different beach locations all summer long. We are constantly doing horseshoe crab collections, horseshoe crab bleedings, horseshoe crab breeding. We're not necessarily in white lab coats or in sterile lab conditions. As a kid, I always knew I loved the ocean, I loved whales. I used to always go to local aquariums and ask people working there, what degree do you have? How did you get a job like this? And I went to school for the marine biology, and here I am today.
From the birth of an idea to create a new product, the mass production of the product that makes it affordable. That's manufacturing.
So I come from Arcwind Industries, but I'd like to speak on behalf of the whole aerospace manufacturing realm. So if you always have this inherent desire to take something apart and understand what makes it work, then manufacturing's for you.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I always wish that I was born in the 1960s so I could have seen the lunar landings. Those are the things that people dream about, the great explorations. I'm hoping to see the Mars landings, not just landing, many times throughout my life.
I'm working on renewable energy. For example, you may have heard of the hydrogen fuel cell car, a car that is only powered by hydrogen, so its only exhaust product will be water. The problem is that the hydrogen cannot be extracted that easily. It's not really in the atmosphere, so you have to create it somehow. What I do with the lab is try to react carbon dioxide and methane, two greenhouse gas molecules, to form hydrogen. You reduce the carbon dioxide concentration and the methane concentration while producing fuels. I grew up in Puerto Rico, and what got me excited was an astronaut who came visit my school in high school. I was really inspired by his speech. I knew that I could go into the scientific side.
The first program we spoke to was from Brookhaven National Laboratories, and they expressly said they have summer camps for children, from K through 12. And I mean, being able to work at a national lab for a summer camp, that's pretty amazing.
It's just something that really interested me, and I liked it, and I was like, I want to try and see what this is like.
So when we think about healthcare, we think about it as a team.
We have computers and we can find out all this information, but to be here and to actually speak to people and get the back and forth conversation going with them here is definitely going to open up their eyes.
He was explaining more of it to me.
Yeah, in the car right here.
In the car before, on the way here, it was like, okay, exactly what is this and how does this really work? This is like a springboard to the conversations that you can have later on about what is it that you want to be, and when you know for sure what is out there, that can help you to guide them. I really was not aware of the wealth of opportunities that there are out here for STEM education. I really did think that you had to go other places in the country to get STEM information.
Well, the big takeaway from this STEM Hub LI career conversation at the Cradle of Aviation is that the sky's the limit when it comes to STEM careers. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Full STEM Ahead Long Island.